Start it.
What's up, guys? It's Shay.
And this is Matt. And this is the Building Small Business Podcast.
Today we're here with GJ of Counterculture. Got it right?
Two ugly letters stuck together.
How you doing, man?
I think they're good-looking letters myself.
Thank you. I'm doing great. I'm happy to have you guys here. I'm very excited that you're here.
We're excited to be here.
So excited.
A lot has happened before you see this. I've dropped coffee. Mm-hmm. We've talked about all kinds of fun things. So, yeah.
Before we get too far, I also wanted to say thank you guys for coming. I'm really excited that you're here.
We're excited to have you here.
Let's not gloss over Matt dropped coffee everywhere and cleaned it up, but didn't clean it up that was all puddled in my seat. So that was nice of him.
That may have been deliberate.
Yeah. I was hoping he would soak it up.
It's like, watch the left hand.
Maybe he'd have some more energy.
All right, so tell us about what you do here.
Welcome to Counterculture. You have arrived at the mecca of stone surface work. So we are the most award-winning countertop and surface fabricator in Lexington, Kentucky, in central Kentucky. And to qualify that means Google, Angie's List, House, Yelp, Facebook, just won ABC's Customer Choice or Viewer's Choice Award.
Congrats.
Thank you. We are the boutique of our industry. There's a whole lot of people that do volume and very few people that do excellent.
Okay.
And that's what we're focused on. And I think that is definitely the precipice, at least, of our success.
Nice. Can you tell us more, like, I guess, expand on what you mean? So you're in a different, I guess, sector of the business if you're providing a more of a boutique feel. What do you mean by that?
When we first started, I did a little bit of guerrilla marketing and was going to some of our other competitors, with a job that was never real, but just wanted to see what other people were doing. It was really obvious to me that no one was doing this excellent. It was all very fast food. And to me, a purchase like Granite should be an experience, Nobody wants something in their kitchen that they're going to look at that's as fast and cheaply done as possible. That's not what inspires people. So that was a really easy kind of aha for us as a business. When we were starting, we were like, maybe we should think about doing this amazing and providing something called service, and thanking someone for their business with a great product. Novel concept.
So what do you think makes you stand apart from your competitors now?
This is very cliche, and everything in life is a cliche until you experience it, and it's just truth. Our people. I'm so blessed. I think when you're going to own a business, unless you really are the only person that you need, you're going to always have to anticipate having people. And the people that you surround yourself with define you, for sure. You can't surmount everyone else's momentum. So you have to surround yourself with excellent people. Excellent people are expensive, so it becomes a difficult choice. Do I want quality or do I want quantity? We always make quality decisions. We do not make decisions with our wallets here or even our heads most of the time. It's always our heart. What's the right thing to do? And I guess it's sad and it's true is a lot of businesses, not just in my industry but in general, do not operate that way. So I think there's always going to be a niche for someone to do it as good as it can possibly be done, or at least aiming for that.
I agree.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I guess, when did you start?
This was 2006.
So you've been in the game for a while.
Yes.
So you started right before an economic downturn.
That was also disappointing. It started to really affect us 2009, I'd say, was bad. 10 was also bad. It was a difficult time to start in a business, but we didn't start with great capital, so we were making and used to making tough decisions every week, So during an economic downturn, we were sort of already in a momentum of how can we be as efficient as possible? Not that we're not that way now, but I think that kind of mentality is against sort of our new grain, which is don't make decisions with your wallet. When you're starting a business, it's very tough to not do that, and once you've got some momentum and some solidarity, every dollar's not so important, so it's easier to make those tough decisions with your heart.
Yeah. So do you all focus mainly on countertops, or is it flooring?
Yeah. We are a very unique industry because there's a lot of guys that strictly do countertops, and they don't do tear out. Like if you've got existing countertops, you have to hire somebody else to remove those. If you've got a tile up there that's in the way, that's got to go. Do you need a sink? Go get it. Faucet? Good luck. we like to handle and kind of orchestrate all of the things that you're going to need in our process. No one wants more homework once they go to start a project. It would be nice if it was a one-stop shop. So yeah, everything that you will need relative to countertops we can provide, and really a whole lot more. That's another kind of great strength of counterculture is that I'm a Navy veteran. I was a Boy Scout. I still do mentorship and volunteer work. And all that is to say, I really do intend to change the world with my life. And that doesn't start when I clock out, When I get here, I want to do that. So if someone comes in here and like, hey, do you know a good cabinet guy? I'm not afraid to stick my neck out or help them. Tell me more about your project. Even though there's no money in it for me, I will get you in touch with someone who'll make your life easy. We have a contractor list that's 100 strong of electricians, plumbers, painters, framers, drywallers, contractors, builders, architects, designers, just everything you could possibly need, so that when someone does ask that question, hey, I'm going to need cabinets. I know you don't do that. I'm not like careless. I can give you something that's going to resonate with you, so that down the road when someone asks you, do you know a kitchen guy? Dude, I know a guy that he does countertops. He'll help you with everything. It's great.
Right. I think that's something that's lost in some businesses like this, where they don't want to stick their neck out and send you a contractor, because if that contractor's done wrong in the past, sure, they just take them off the list, and before you know it, you're down to a list of 3.
Yeah, and if I wasn't around for 15 years, I'd say that I would have a very short list. I have had the good fortune to have experiences with almost everyone in my industry at this point, and I know the excellent from the okay, and I don't mean to slander anybody. When someone asks me for help, I have to. You become my family. What would I do for my little brother? What would I do for my mom? What would I do for? That's how I make my decisions, and that's how you end up caring enough. Take it personal. You'll set them up with somebody who's excellent. And I have had that issue a couple times, and those people came off the list until it was winnowed into a very solid, beautiful thing. So
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like an easy way to keep customers around, like just showing that you care for them. Because somebody like this is right up my alley. Because somebody like me, if I have to start making like more than a couple calls and I want something to do with my house, I'm like, screw it, I'll just do it later.
Sure. Yeah.
So if you're kind of a one-stop shop to kind of hold somebody's hand through the whole process,
the easy button is what I like to call it. It should be. If I was buying countertops, I would expect that my job was to answer questions that they asked and to write a check for deposit and completion, and that should be it. Like, I came to you because you're professional. Please do this for me. I don't want any nightmares, and we get a lot of people. I'd say probably speaking of that, our most popular or common denominator of our client is they're a second-time buyer.
Oh, really?
Because they had a bad experience somewhere else.
God. Yeah. And it's very true. Everybody that gets into this industry, it seems like, is thinking, well, to be competitive when I first get in the industry, there's already counterculture, they're already doing it great and everybody loves them. How can I look more attractive? Price. But when you do that, you're cutting corners.
Yeah.
So it's very hard, I think, to provide what we do in our marketplace. All that again is to say, a lot of people get burned with bad seams, horrible sink cutouts, unlevel countertops, birthmarks in the middle of something that's like, what is this? It's like, oh, that's a dinosaur hoof print. No, it's not. It's a horrifying black volleyball on my otherwise white countertop. There's a whole lot of gimmicks in my industry, and there's a whole lot of people that don't shoot straight, They want to sound and look like me, but to be able to provide what I do at a lower cost, they are cutting corners inevitably. So we're an easy button.
Yeah.
The thing that it's a kind of business that runs the way you think a business should run. We're not really. I find that if you're not worried about money, the money takes care of itself. But when you focus on money, it's money, money, money. That's all that matters to anybody, you and your client. Money's important. On a list of 10 things, though, I think if you ask people where money is, some of them will say it's number 1, and that's not a counterculture client. Most people will say number 6. A lot of other things got to go right before money's even really on my radar of importance.
Yeah.
I need you to kill it here first, and then we'll talk about the money.
Right. Like you obviously want a quality product. You want a timely service and done the right way. So speaking of those sorts of things, it sounds like maybe I'm just assuming, but from your days in the Navy, you're drawing some, so you've gotten your, what do they call it? Discipline, something that you want to excel in? I mean, whatever that looks like.
I honestly have always had a brain that explodes with ideas well before the Navy. The Navy definitely gave me that discipline to sort of access this laser focus, really pour yourself into something. Instead of trying to eat 10 sandwiches at one time, get this one and then move on to the next. So the military was very, very good for me. I went in just, I don't even know what it's riddled with loss. I mean, and pain. My dad died when I was 15. My two best friends hit a telephone pole and died when I was 17. And I joined the Navy 2 days after that in the delayed entry process to get the hell out of here. And I wasn't into drugs or anything, but my mom would tell me come home, at midnight. And I'd come home at 4 and be like, what are you going to do about it?
Right.
Just a jerk. So the military will stop all of that.
Sure.
It was very,
Set you
very
straight.
good for me because they don't care about your pain. They don't care what you've been through. And that's kind of cool, actually. Something I didn't really appreciate until it was gone, is that, before you graduate high school, you're just surrounded with all these people that care just effortlessly about you. And then you get out in the world, it's all over,
Right.
But military was great. I definitely grew up a lot, learned a lot about myself, tested my resolve, and got to know my own fabric, and I liked what I found. So it was very positive. Came out of the Navy and started MrVintage.com because when I was stationed in San Diego, I fell in love with vintage T-shirts. All I could think about was starting this website. So I came back to Lexington and started that, and lost all my money. In 2 years, I was selling cars, delivering pizzas, trying to keep my vintage T-shirt dream alive. And that was 2004 to 2006. And in 2006, we started Counterculture. My stepdad and his son out of Florida had a business where he was fabricating all of our countertops in Florida, shipping up to Kentucky, and then we'd go knock out 40 houses at a time. That was a big deal. It was a big operation. Things were going good, but if you have a problem, you are weeks, if not a month, before you can resolve it because that next truck has to go back down and back up. And
Okay.
we realized that we needed to liberate ourselves from that business model. And then in 2000, I guess 7.5, about a year and a half later, we started Counterculture. And the rest is really kind of history.
So you all do all the in-house, is it like polishing and cutting and everything?
We get full slabs delivered to our shop. Either we will select them so that people can come here to love them, or you select them and we'll have them delivered here from a distributor in Cincinnati or Winchester or Louisville. And within usually a week of measuring, you will have brand new countertops, and we'll again take care of the sink. All the polishing, cutting, everything happens here in-house. We don't have subcontractors for installers. We have in-house installers. None of them are incentivized to hustle, and typically none of them will have a job of an equal size after yours. That's another big difference between Counterculture. That's what's so cool about us having every award in the industry is it's statistically very unlikely that we would because we have so many fewer customers. In a day, we're doing 2 kitchens. I have 2 crews that work full-time, so each day we'll do 2 kitchens. Now in the afternoon, I might do a vanity or something like that, or a little bathroom curb fit-up or something, who knows. None of my guys go out, unless it's a very small kitchen, with 2 kitchens. No one comes to Counterculture looking for the fastest, sloppiest job possible. They want it great.
Yeah.
So my, I guess, gift to them is that no one on my crew is incentive. There's no $100 bill waiting for them to get back here by 2 o'clock. Never happens. I do not incentivize people to rush. I do appreciate hustle, but babies should take 9 months. I don't want anything premature happen under my roof. That's another thing that that's I guess the quality versus quantity. A lot of places will have 4 kitchens on 1 install crew happening in a day. That is not how you thank a client for the business.
That's wild. Yeah, that sounds like a lot.
So, and that's why I say we're the boutique. And that's what blew my mind about the ABC Viewer Choice Awards. We should not have won that. There's other companies that do 4 or 5 kitchens a day and have multiple install crews. They have so many more clients that could have written in and been real happy. But the smallest one, Counterculture, has every award in the industry, more 5-star Google reviews than anybody, better, reputation than anybody. I'm very, very proud of it. We have earned it, and it's not a me thing. It's a we thing.
Yeah.
Like I said, hire excellent people. They are worth it. That you'll be glad you did. Who cares if you've made money if you wake up every day to embarrass yourself? I would rather break even and be proud than wealthy and humiliated and just scared to go to the grocery store because people are going to see me and be like, "You son," I get hugs and high fives, and I love it. I love it.
That's awesome. What do you? It sounds like you're very passionate about your business. What do you think would be your favorite thing about business ownership?
I would say.
I was really hoping you'd use the British voice for this one.
Yeah. No problem. Probably the best thing about business ownership for me is the fulfillment, the purpose that I get. It's wonderful to wake up and to look myself in the mirror and say, you have every award in the industry. Nobody's better at what they do than you do, and you've got a responsibility to continue that. It's wonderful. The meaning that I feel when I wake up is just lovely. Can't get over it. It's lovely. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. It's also a great feeling, not to mention, there's 12 people that work here for me. I'm feeding all of their families. It's a heavy weight, but it's really cool that it works. That all these people. It sounds disingenuous because I'm in accent, but I'm just that strange. I don't care. I mean what I say, and I love taking care of the people that take care of me very much.
So you've mentioned the people that work for you several times. How are you hiring such good people?
Slowly, painfully.
Slow to hire, quick to fire. That's the saying, isn't it?
It is. The problem with counterculture is exactly that, is that we are limited in that, no one comes here looking for average, so I can't hire average people. There's all kinds of average people out there that would love to work here that don't get hired here. No one, including me, woke up at 16 years old and was like, I'm going to be the best stone fabricator you've ever seen. Right. No one does. No. Usually some poor choices lead to your involvement in the stone industry. So I think, no offense, but to most of the time, the quality of people that we are offered is limited. So luckily, there are some people that are profound. Corey is my right-hand man, and Leslie is my left-hand woman. The two of them are invaluable to our operation, and I could not be more proud of two people. And again, my shop foreman, he's been with me for 10 years. We take excellent care of him. There's just so many people here, I'd fight a war for their honor. So, I mean, you really got to wait. It's like getting married. You're supposed to. You think you are. So if you get married because, I think I like this person, you're not going to make it.
That ain't working.
Wait, and you will be handsomely rewarded. So we've been patient. We have to be, because I can't have somebody who's okay. And that's happened to me. So I've hired somebody, that I wasn't crazy about. I have somebody in mind, and there's a builder that I loved working with that I don't work with anymore because this one guy just had such a bad attitude and did just an incredibly average job in this basement project we were working on. And it cost me. This guy that I really like, that likes me. And it was because I hired somebody out of desperation. Instead of hiring somebody that doesn't belong on your team so that you can get the work done, do it slow. Be the tortoise, not the hare.
Do you plan on kind of staying at the size that you're at now? Do you like where it's at, or do you see it growing?
We have to. We've got to grow.
Yeah.
We are one of the few businesses in downtown Lexington, obviously, in our industry, I think one of two. And it's difficult to be here. It's very expensive to be here, and it's tight. Every move we make is just so tight. So we are actively looking for something 15, 20,000 square foot that's going to be our last move.
Yeah.
I don't think that I see a franchise in my future because this is such a quality-driven business. Anybody that's ever tried to have several locations has been a failure, frankly. It's because the quality of the work has to, you just can't teach it. You have to have, I mean, if you're going to do what I do, you have to have experts. If you want it to look like a blind, armless child did it, there's plenty of that to be found. But you have to be there, almost military drilling. Excellence, excellence, excellence. Fast doesn't blow my mind. Excellent impresses me. And that's not something you can do from a distance. I think they need to see it in your eyes and know that, like, okay, he's serious. So we are going to make one last move and grow to a third install crew and a second saw and overhead crane systems and just a whole lot of more efficient systems. This has been a great building for us, and it's obviously we've poured a lot into it. It's just so tight. If I'm ever going to grow, we have to move, and we have a lot of people asking us to.
Really?
The economy needs to hang on for us, but yeah, I mean, we are at critical mass and have been for years. So we are under profitable compared to what we could be.
Right. I think it'll be sad to see this building go. Whenever I drive by this side of National, I'm always like, that building is so cool. And if you've never seen it, if you are in the area, definitely drive by. It looks really cool, and it's 100% real stone. So
100% real imitation stone.
Right.
You got to see it.
It's actually painted on, so you probably won't believe that, but it looks
paint.
freaking sweet.
I didn't even look at it when I was walking in. I guess I need to check it out.
Yeah, Shay's oblivious. But so I guess kind of talking about some of those hiring, maybe making a wrong hire, a bad hire, not necessarily a mistake, but what is something that when you were starting your business that you would tell an entrepreneur, like, do this, don't do that?
I have a lot of information on this specific subject. So entrepreneurs, I'm talking to you out there. If you're watching this wondering how do I get my business started, I want you to understand something really, really important. First of all, there's a whole culture of people with lots and lots and lots of money that are banking on you needing to borrow it so they can make money with their money. And if you don't, someone else will. The whole world spends their time lining up that perfect shot because they're going to take one shot, one perfect shot. Watch out now. Yeah. So they grab the grass, test the air. Oh, it's blowing. I can't shoot now. So they wait. Then they get it. No, sun's in my eyes. I can't shoot now. They wait for that perfect shot that's going to take them where they want to go. Everyone is lining up that perfect shot. Even a blindfolded guy just taking crazy shots is going to hit more targets than someone that never shoots. Okay? You're always going to be undercapitalized. You're always going to be afraid. You're probably going to be scared to ask people for money, you know? Honestly, I feel like that's why my vintage thing failed when I was young, because I, hypothesized, I'm going to go to my friend or someone I look up to and say, hey, I think I'm going to be a millionaire with vintage T-shirts. They'd be like, I'm not letting you borrow anything.
Right.
That's how it sounded in my head. And that's how you're probably letting it sound in your head. They're waiting for you. And if you don't take a shot, you're never going to hit anything. So even if you're an idiot with a blindfold on, taking crazy shots, killing birds and shooting buildings, take those shots. You'll be glad you did. It is better to regret something that you did than something you did not do.
Love that.
Yeah, that's great.
That was actually Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. The last moments of a song called Deep Kick. It's a quote from him. A lot of brilliance in music.
Yeah.
Big music junkie.
But that's so true. Like, it doesn't matter where it came from or if it was something that you came up with. That's a very true thing. And
failing at Mr. Vintage was one of my favorite stories. You know what I mean? Like, I was a kid. I just had this unbridled passion. I was an idiot, and I just didn't know anything but just hustle.
How old were you when you did that?
I was 22.
You did the same thing, didn't you?
So fresh out of the Navy, yeah. Fresh out of the Navy then, so you were in for 4 years? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, thank you for your service, by the way.
Enchanté.
And yeah, so what Shay was kind of alluding to, I started a business I was 20, I think. I guess I invested in a business with a friend, and I pulled, cashed out a credit card, whatever you take a cash out on on a credit card. Mm-hmm. That's how I funded my end of it, and I had that same credit card debt until I was 26.
Yeah.
The business dissolved in a year and a half after we started. You know what I mean?
Same.
Like it was
Same.
it was tough, man. I mean,
I had some
But-
holes to dig myself out of too, and I'm not upset that I did it. Experience is the greatest teacher, sir.
at the time you're so frustrated. So a little bit of a piece of background. All I did from my age 20 to 27 was try to find jobs that allowed me to train to go fight. So I didn't care. I was just barely making whatever the note was. Like if it was $120 and 20 cents, I was paying $120 and 20 cents. There was no debt snowball. It was just like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have this debt with me for a while, and I did, and I don't regret it, man. Like it's looking back on it, you think about it as like a financial strain, but like I'm fine in my 30s.
It's also
You can dig out of just about anything.
character doesn't come from easy times. A lot of people never get tested, and that's okay. I have been, and I love that I was. I didn't at the time. I do now.
Right. It's those moments are crap.
Yeah.
Like I look at it this way too. It's similar to like if you're working out in the sand or working out on the football field or whatever, and you just eat shit. Like there's grass, there's sweat, your eyes are burning from the sweat, and then you got to go do another drill and go hit a guy or whatever it is.
Push through.
It always sucks when you're right in the middle of it. You're just like, I wish it would end. I can't. What time is it? What is going on? And then when it ends, you feel better that you went through it. So it's kind of the same thing with.
Yeah. Do you still own MrVintage.com?
No.
I feel like you could sell that for some decent money.
It's $5,000 to buy it.
Oh.
Look at it all the time.
Yeah.
Oh,
As soon as you
man.
said that, I was like, man, that's a good domain name.
You know what else is crazy is like how that business probably changed. Like what year was that?
That was 2004. Yeah.
So social media hadn't really taken off yet. There was like Facebook, but you had to have a .edu. Like it wasn't really there for advertising or anything. And nowadays, I follow 4 vintage accounts. I don't own a single. I
Isn't
own
there a
one.
vintage clothing store right
Hey
there?
guys, can we move on?
Oh no. I just like it's crazy to think about like if you had entered the market 5 years later, 6 years later, or if you had entered it in San Diego, you're in a different place.
Again, with the exploding ideas, I feel like I'm pretty good at recognizing potential in undercapitalized markets, and most of the stuff that I do that's tertiary, as far as my income, they're all going to be things that I'm like, ooh, somebody's doing that wrong, and I can do that better. Not even like cheaper, just better.
You got any ideas?
I can't wait to talk more about this when we turn this podcast off.
You wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe. Yeah.
I'm
Some
excited.
of my ideas have been done. Like I mean, it's boring. We'll talk about another time, I guess. But like one of my ideas, I did take to 3M. Like in my industry, guys are always spending 20 minutes putting a plastic tarp over a doorway. Blue tape, cut the plastic, go smoke a cigarette, come back. Oops, I messed up. I recut it. Go put another tarp. They just need disposable tarps. Roll it out, peel it off, stick it. And for years, I tried to patent it myself, but there's a roofing company that owns sort of a patent on, and not like sized tarps, but just a large adhesive tarp for roofs that are under construction. So it was tough to get around that. And I hit so many walls, I finally just went to 3M and be like, look, here's my idea. Here's how I think it should be done. I would love to get in the stream, just get a little nugget of the profits of this. And they took it. Yeah. Now if you go to Lowe's, and I bet you 2 years ago you couldn't. Now if you go to Lowe's, they have pull-out adhesive tarps. And I was like,
Did they tell you they were taking it? Yeah.
it's okay though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's better to regret
that's
something
crazy.
you did and something you didn't do.
That's not really a boring
I'm
story.
not happy
No.
about it, but I'm also kind of not mad about it either. It's just
Yeah.
it's also in a way it's just sort of an encouragement that I do have good ideas, and that just chase it until it's a bad idea. So.
Not that anybody from 3M is going to see this, but if you do,
Screw you.
we know what you did.
You know
we know what you did in that boardroom when you heard this
You
guy's
know what you
idea.
You know what you did.
All right, I got a question about the actual stone. I know nothing about any of it.
Sure.
So like all the different kinds you see is like a white, like some tan, black, everything. Is that how it actually comes out of the ground, or is it like dyed or
I
anything?
don't
like
know
that?
anything about
Yeah, you don't know.
stone.
No,
No.
shit. I guess I'll ask somebody else.
Yeah. Leslie
It's like I know enough to sell it.
it comes out of the ground like that. So I will say. Nope. Nope. Yes. Comes out of the ground like this.
Okay.
So it's nice and raw, and then
That's
gets
the polish.
cut
That's crazy.
and polished on a conveyor system into these nice shiny finishes.
So yes and no.
Yeah. Do you have that here? Like, do
Slabs
you?
with that?
Yeah, so you
Yeah.
take the raw stone and then you turn it into that.
It comes to us 10 by 6 roughly, and then we have a bridge saw that's amazing.
Yeah.
And then it cuts it into the rectangles or circles, and then it goes onto the fab tables where we'll cut sinks and polish edges and do all that. Yeah.
Is it pretty brittle? Like, do you break a lot, or once you're working with the slab,
A lot of companies do. I don't know exactly how I get around it, except, again, instilling excellence in my people.
Mm-hmm.
We do not have that happen, thank God.
Yeah, that's good.
There are really, really fragile materials, yes. Schist is one of them, SCHIST. A lot of metal, finely interwoven layers and that stuff. It's a nightmare to cut. Like, as the saw's going through it, the top just this
Explodes.
fist-sized
Yeah.
top finish just blows out, and you got to piece it back together and
Oh
finish it.
gosh.
Nightmare. And then marble's pretty fragile.
So why would you pick one stone over the other?
I encourage people to shop based on look,
Okay.
like their heart. You know what I mean? Because the most impactful finish in your house is not a door trim. Okay. No one walks in and is like, God, who did that? It's always going to be countertops. And everybody, oh man, this is incredible. And forget the other people, like yourself. You want to come down and see something that inspires you. A lot of people do end up making, budget choices, and that's okay. And I'm not so bougie that I can't help people that have a lower budget. We just need to be smart about what we pick, because you can find things that are great looking for less money. You just have to look a little harder for them. But a lot of people, for instance, will come here and be like, I love marble, but I can't have it. And I'm like, well, why do you say that? Well, I know it's bad performer. And I'm like, that's true. It is. But I'm still trying to hear why you can't have it. Well, all my friends tell me not to get it. And I'm a do what you dream kind of guy, so I'm not going to tell this person no. A lot of people come in here and do get marble because they wanted it, and everyone's talked them out of it, and I haven't talked them back into it. I've just asked enough questions to find out, does the world keep turning for you if there's a scratch that comes out of nowhere, or you put a glass down and there's now a weird ring where that glass was that's etched the polished finish. Marble's touchy. Forget the breakage. Like, you can scratch it and stain it and hurt it pretty easy. I have marble in my kitchen. I love it. It's wrecked. I don't care.
It's character.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Dude. Every night I come home to my kitchen, I'm like, I can't believe this is mine.
Do you talk to it and stuff?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I lick it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's this one part that looks like a fox dancing through the air, kind of, and I kiss him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
See, you thought you were asking a tricky question.
No, he looks like he has a cigar, too. It's so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope.
I'll
Did
show
you pick that special piece out? Like, you knew that was going to be the one?
Honestly, the more I kept looking at it, like, everyone agrees with me. It looks like a cartoon fox doing this, like, through the air.
I'm excited to see a picture of this.
It's pretty funny.
I'm going to lie and tell you that we're going to put a picture of that in our show notes. Or not.
We should end this whole thing with just that picture.
No, the picture of you doing this one.
Yeah.
You're probably out of frame, though. Damn it.
Oh, shit.
What so as far, you've kind of mentioned some things that you've done, Yelp, Google, those types of things. What do you think has been the most beneficial form of advertising for you?
Word of mouth. This is one of these cliches that doesn't help a new person. Referrals and word of mouth have been beautiful for us. Reviews are nice. Reviews is almost like it's peace of mind more than an actual lead. When I'm looking for something, I don't know, I'll get on Google, and if I see this person has low reviews, I'm not going to call them. You know what I mean? So I think that that's a great filter. I think that if you were to tell somebody that Counterculture was great and I had horrible reviews, you would still investigate us. And if you like, trust, and believe us, you'll still work with us despite our views. So I do think word of mouth is a little more powerful than the reviews. But what's frustrating about that, that's a patience game. It's not going to happen. It's organic. It's going to take time for that to happen. But it's not just a time thing. You don't just automatically get good reviews. It's time in, but it's also a service provided. You got to do great, and you'll automatically step yourself. Most people, I think, in the world are men or women trying to find a way to do something cheaper. All about doing it cheaper. Price, sales, cars. Yes, but there's also an awful lot of people that have had an experience with budget shopping have been horrified with disappointment. So next time they go to an expert and they find, oh, this company has every award in the industry. Let's go try them. And if I'm 10% more, they don't care because they know I'm going to be 50% better or more. You know, like there's a big difference between what we do and what other people do. And I would encourage people to not try and start another McDonald's. Start a Malone's, you know?
Start something nicer, yeah.
Yeah.
So do you own any other businesses that you run, or is this the only one that you're working on?
My wife and I have we have Gerard Properties, which is a very creative name.
Yeah.
So we're starting some commercial and real estate investments, you know, just because of our vocation here. My wife is an incredibly talented designer and just kind of a fantastic's an understatement, epic person. All of this that you see and have experienced never would have happened without her. I promise you. I have always worked my butt off, but do not have the vision that she does. This place was like my first car, and you remember your first car, right? Mm-hmm. She made me trade out, and I've been loving every day that I got rid of that first car. So I think that I've lost my train of thought because I'm so proud of my wife.
I'll send her that clip. So
She made all this possible. And I've kind of forgot to mention her when I was talking about Leslie and Corey. My wife is my, what did it say in Jerry Maguire? Ambassador of Quan or whatever. She's my everything. She's my wonderful.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. She also has, like I said, a design degree, so she is very useful to us in a lot of ways. She ends up being my Joanna, and I'm her Chip. She'll design it, and I'll do it. So
Heck yeah.
You have nicer hair than Chip, though.
not than Gina. I thought you were about to say Gina. I was like, ooh.
Is that the wife?
No. Yeah. No, Gina's my wife.
Yeah.
Is she your wife?
No, I was
wife.
saying.
Wait, it's got to be your wife.
You said Gina, but you hadn't said the name yet.
Gina. Chip and Joanna. Gina and GJ.
Yeah.
I'm confused. Delete.
No, it's if you watch anything that Shay's ever done, he's probably gonna keep it in.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Good.
It takes too much time for me to cut stuff out.
I don't know where we're at.
Could create some kind of
We left advertising.
We're pretty much towards we can do some questions if you want to wrap it all up.
Yeah, I think he had a really good quote earlier, but I forgot what the actual verbiage was. I do like the "don't wait for the perfect shot."
Mm-hmm.
That is, I've been talking to a few of my friends about specific different things to do in the business world, and it crushes my soul whenever I hear well, I'm just not ready yet, or well, what about this, or like there's a variable or there's an answer. So
that's almost my most encouraging point of all of that is, and again, it's no offense to everyone, but that's common. Mm-hmm. That's what everyone else is doing. To set yourself apart is so easy, you know, because everybody else is nervous, and rightfully so. You know, you'll recover,
right,
but you won't get your time back.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to blink and 10 months or 10 years is going to go by and you still haven't done it.
My friends and probably my wife that's over here probably get tired of how much I push people to try to just start something they say they want to do. Like, so what's it going to hurt? If it fails, and screw it, try something else, or go back on with your life that you're already doing.
Yeah. It wasn't really hard to get him started at all.
Nobody, you can't go to a bank empty-handed. You have to have some skin in the game. But again, that skin in the game is going to help you develop character that's going to make you want it even worse. And they will give you loans. Like, people are lending money still. Interest rates aren't crazy. So I would really encourage people, chase your dreams. Don't let your dreams be dreams, you know? It's terrible. It's the worst thing ever.
Hell yeah.
You never know when your time's going to, I mean, I had a buddy die last week, you know, that got a 4-year-old boy that's just
Sorry to hear that.
You think you've got all this time. You don't. We never know. And the worst thing ever is going to be taking that last breath, especially if you know it's coming,
mm-hmm.
and having all this regret of the things you didn't do. That ain't going to be my story.
Yeah.
That's almost like what motivates me is when I take that breath, I did everything I wanted to do. I gave life hell.
Yeah.
Mine's going to be like Deadpool 2, and I'm just going to keep trying to take
going.
my last breath.
Yeah. Me too. I got a lot to do, man. I already don't sleep.
What do you got?
So basically what you said was really good, and then you have been one of the the best people to explain how important it is to hire good people and surround yourself by good people. You've not really taken credit for any of this. Every time you've spoke about the success, you've added somebody else into it. And I think that shows the importance of having good people around you.
I think that's another thing that's really attractive about counterculture. And maybe me in general, I don't deal in ego. I think I spent a lot of my time younger in 20s thinking that like I had to appear to be the most confident and cocky and arrogant and capable and all these things that were so useless. That now I make sure that like pride is the ceiling that doesn't ever tiptoe into ego, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'm not better than you and you're not better than me. And Leslie, I'm not better than her who works for me. We are all on the same team together and we have one ultimate goal. And you have to pay people well, though. That's another thing. You know, it's not like I'm super nice so they don't mind eating ramen at home every night. That's not what's happening.
I love
take
ramen.
good care of my people. I think that you have to be generous as a business owner because that's inspiring.
Yeah.
When it feels more like a collective, it will be. Yeah, I got all kinds of motivational stuff for you.
Hell yeah. I love it.
All right, let's go into our burning questions now.
Burning questions.
I kind of asked the first one in a different way.
We'll see again, see if it's the same answer.
So
Bigger building. I already know.
what's one thing you would change or do differently when starting your business?
Bigger building.
so
I
with
know a
that,
few real estate agents if you need help finding
right,
a bigger building.
right. We got a slew of them
Please
down the
look
road.
for me if you're seeing this. I'm desperate.
Yeah.
Down the road, we got two of them right here.
Are you want to buy it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to. I'd
well,
rent something ideal. I don't care.
right. You just need the
I'm
space.
desperate.
I gotcha. Well, yeah. If anybody hears this, it's got something, a pocket listing. You know, let your boy know.
Call me and I'll send it to him.
Right. Yeah. It goes through me first. So I guess different building, but essentially would that mean like better planning or more capital, or what was the barrier to the size of the building?
I think our monetary comfort, you know, this was a big nut to cover when we first got it. When we started the business, I did not start with any capital. My mom and stepdad had all the money, and so it wasn't an equal interest. I was not with them, I was underneath them. So a lot of the planning, it's not that I wasn't involved or considered, but I definitely did not get a say. So there was a lot of things I think that were done that I wasn't crazy about. And I was crazy about this building when we moved here because it was so much bigger than what we had, and now we've outgrown this one. I think that back then when they got this place, none of us would have foreseen the momentum. Or frankly, for me, my stepdad got cancer in 2012, which is how I came to own the business. I bought it 4 years ago from them, but worked there years, you know, before that even happened and after that happened. So we changed a whole lot of things that they did once I took over. And what a beautiful experience, because I'll tell you, just as great as having someone show you what to do, I would say it's been even more valuable to have someone show you what not to do, because those hurt, you know, and if you ever get an opportunity to course correct those things that you've been doing wrong all these years, it feels like heaven to fix it your way. So yeah, I have again lost my train of thought in your gorgeous eyes.
So I mean, they are really nice. So
You're lucky he doesn't have his hair out. I have a hair off in here.
Yeah. So you were one of the OGs on National Avenue then, right?
We've been here a long time.
You've probably seen it change quite a bit.
I made this street.
I put this on the
this,
map.
you see this road? I paved this road.
Grandma's, I ain't, you know, but
That's awesome.
put this together, me.
What's your favorite hobby?
Oh God. So I did think about this, and I would hate a guy for saying this. I'd be like, he's a douche. I don't trust him.
So what is it?
He's a loser. I love taking my son to Jacobson Park and feeding the ducks.
That's a good hobby.
Oh
It is,
no, that's
but
not a
every woman at
douchebag
home
move.
that sees us will be like, husband, why don't you say stuff? And he's gonna be like, I hate that guy.
Yeah.
He looks like a girl anyway.
But if you enjoy doing something like that, like that's cool. You know?
Well, the other thing is, my dad, like I said, he passed away. I was 15. He was a Vietnam vet. He was really hard, like a rigid kind of guy. So I never really got the nerve to ask him a whole lot of questions I wanted to ask him. I never got to know my dad real well. But my parents were also separated, so I only saw them every weekend or every other weekend on top of that. So, but I have just 50 precious, treasured pictures of him feeding me, or of him feeding the ducks with me at Jacobson Park. So I very much love to take my son to the same spot.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I think
What
that's
is
my favorite hobby?
every time I'm at Jacobson Park, I like looking at the ducks too. So maybe I'll feed them with you sometime when I'm there.
It helps to like pre-shred.
Yeah.
Because all he wants to do is eat it. If you give him a slice, just so I tear it up before we go.
The ducks or your kid?
Kid.
Yeah.
The kid, yeah. I feel
He
that
thinks
though.
It's like, hey, food.
Here's some food, bro.
I'll share, but I mean, I want this.
Yeah.
What's your favorite restaurant that's local?
How about favorite food? Because that would hurt feelings. Can't do it.
He knows too many restaurant owners. That's what it does.
I will say, nothing in my life has changed since I was 16 years old. I think I've said this. If I had to eat the same food every day, if I had to have a dog food, what would my dog food be? Thai, and probably pad Thai.
Nice.
Love pad
I like bologna and crackers a lot.
Shay, have you still not had like pad thai? Have we talked about this?
Really?
Dude, he's here. Indian food.
Unreal.
See, it's
okay.
It's
I was like that, too.
Lawrenceburg, man.
Yeah.
I was like,
It's hard on a guy.
after you eat, you start talking, right?
Yeah.
Everything's different.
Take me to a restaurant. I'll
Is that
go.
allowed? Is this okay?
No, I think it's fine.
It is fine.
What's your favorite musical artist that no one would expect? I'm looking forward to this one.
So anyone that knows me would expect this. So, but you don't know this. And here's the other thing.
By looking at you, like if someone saw you walking down the street and you had headphones in, and you were blasting Taylor Swift, like they would be like, "Oh, that guy doesn't look like a T Swift fan."
He looks like a T Swift fan.
So I'll tell you, when I was young, when my dad left, I was about 6 years old, almost 7. My mom worked at Oldies 103.3.
Before it was rock.
Correct.
Let's go.
And it used to be, before it was Oldies 103.3, it was the Cat 103.3 that was still an oldie station. They had this giant pink cat that had a yellow polka
No
dotted
way.
tie that they would blow up at like events and stuff. And they had a boom box that was like school bus size that had giant speakers on either side at remotes. And Skip the DJ would sit inside that thing, and it was like a giant tape cassette.
That's
thing.
awesome.
It was awesome. So we couldn't have any money and couldn't afford a babysitter. My mom would wait until 3:15 to take her lunch break every day to drive to Julius Marks to pick me and my brother up and take us back out to the radio station. So the only thing that we could do was hunt imaginary buffalo out in the middle of nowhere, or listen to Smokey Robinson, Gene Pitney, Turtles, Platters, Beatles, everything.
So we're going Motown?
I would say
Smokey was the first
Oldies
person
is
you
probably
mentioned.
the biggest shock, but no, Weezer is I hate to
Hell
say
yeah,
it,
dude.
it's the best band there ever was.
What's
And
the
here's
album with
so-
the space guy on the front of it that they'd released like fairly recently? Because that album's dope.
Space rock, I don't know.
It has its guy that's out in
Weezer-
space.
So let me say this. Now I have fantastic music taste. If there's any, not my favorite hobby, but my most time extensive hobby is finding good music, and you have to have a searchlight and a shovel to find it these days because it's a bunch of crap. So
I think we could put you on some
if
different
someone
people.
was to say, tell me your favorite band so I can figure out what you like, I would be humiliated to say it's Weezer. And I haven't listened to Weezer in a month. I still think it's like my first girlfriend. I always love her.
You should
Always.
never be. No.
So,
Weezer's got
Father
good shit.
John Misty I've been listening to a lot recently. I've gotten back on a Strokes kick. I love Strokes, Arcade Fire. But I'm always listening to Otis Redding. Love Otis. Everybody's like, you like Al Green or you like Marvin Gaye? I'm like, I like Otis and I like Sam Cooke. Thank you.
He goes
So
deep.
yeah, I mean, I'm all over the board when it comes to music except country. I don't play that game.
You don't play
You don't
country
like
at all?
it?
Dang.
No, sir.
Dang.
Bummer.
No,
I mean, that's okay.
it's
Yeah.
important.
He's like the, just not like he doesn't want to be a standard Kentucky guy and like all kinds of random crap.
I'm a little scarred because one of my other hobbies is I do write music, and I'm actually really, really good. Everyone that gets a hold of the songs that I'm written are like, man, if you made that a country song, that would actually be something.
You should sell it. You should
should
start
do
selling stuff to people.
Kills me.
That'd be cool to be a songwriter, dude. Sell that shit.
But that's like saying that's like if you wanted to be a really good classic dancer and everybody's like you'd be such a good stripper. Like, that's not even close to the same.
Make you an Only Toes account. Start you one up,
Only
dude.
Toes. I haven't heard about that.
Well, that's what I call it.
Kind of fat
That's
toes.
I would just
Okay.
at least if you're
People
watching
pay
this,
good money for that.
I swear I'm not taking pictures of your feet at night and posting them on Only Toes.
Yes, he is.
1999.
We're quite a bit in the green though. I'll tell you that.
What's your favorite business book if you read?
I do read, and I do not. I struggle to read anything outside. Okay, like Stephen King, I'll fly through that book in 3 days. The autobiography of Vincent van Gogh took me 3 months, and it's not that much longer. When it's like studious reading, I cannot do it. If it's fantasy, I won't stop. So a business book, I don't know that I have one. I really don't.
Do you have any good Van Gogh facts from the autobiography?
Yeah, he was the first to discover how a hummingbird's tongue works, and that is that when the tongue is inside, it actually comes up over top of the head and protects the brain. So as it's pecking, protects the brain cavity. He was actually also the first person to realize that the heart is actually a closed vacuum kind of system. 200 years later, people have found out that he was right, but they didn't know that he was right. He has a book. I'm embarrassed. I can't remember like what it's called, but it's a book that is the his life's achievements. Bill Gates owns pages of it and has it framed in his house. It's a big deal. And in that, he listed like he was one of the first people doing autopsies for fun. So yeah.
That was
For some
That was
wild
our best
education,
segment
yeah.
of favorite book that we've ever had.
Yeah, I like it. Have you mentioned Flea earlier? Have you read the Scar Tissue book?
Who painted the Mona Lisa? Is that Van Gogh?
I think it was Van
I
Gogh.
feel like it was Van Gogh.
It needs to be Van Gogh because that biography is about the guy that painted it. I think it was Van Gogh. Dude.
I love that he remembers the fact about the hummingbird, but not like of the most famous painting.
I can't remember who. I swear, was it Van Gogh?
So
I
it's
feel
only
like it was Van Gogh.
Mona Lisa's only famous because they lost it for like 4 years, and then they found it again. Nobody really cared about it before.
We got our very own young Jess looking this. Young Jamie, young Jess.
Hey, pull that shit up,
fact
Jess.
Pull that up.
Who
Pull that
painted
up, fact.
Da Vinci? So it wasn't Van Gogh.
Da
it was
Vinci. Oh, gosh.
I was wrong. It was Da Vinci. I knew it wasn't Van Gogh. I don't
Maybe
know why I
this will
said
be the
that.
first part that Shay edits out and makes
That's
us look
why
smarter.
You drink
No shot.
coffee, and I don't.
What? So have you read? Oh shit! Have you read? You okay? Wrong hole. I got you. Have you read the book Scar Tissue?
No, but I wish I saw.
Yeah, I was hoping you would say that. I almost did.
Yeah. No, I have not.
No,
Dad,
it's about it's Anthony Kiedis's
okay.
biography. It's solid. I don't know why I'm looking at this. I know the sixth question because we added this thing recently. What's a favorite guilty pleasure that you have? Is it a movie, show, a food, a restaurant?
I would say it's out. I mean, kind of offensively loud music.
Okay.
I rock on. If I can hear myself sing, it's not quite loud enough. I surround myself. Every car that I own may not have tires, but it's got a fantastic.
It's got some really nice
stereo.
speakers in there.
Fantastic.
That's
just
awesome.
belligerent, jerk loud. Like I love it.
We're talking subs too, or do you just do the speakers
I
and the doors?
usually have like one sub, but usually like 1 to 7. Like you'll have a lot of other noise.
Nice.
Yeah, I like subs fine, but I don't really listen to a lot of rap.
Bass
except
heavy
old
stuff.
Wu-Tang.
Nice.
Oh yeah, protect your neck.
Hell yeah.
Respect Dude Paul.
I love it. Well,
I like the RZA, the Jizza, Old Dirty Bastard, Inspector Deck, You God, Ghostface Killer, and the Method Man. They're
Hell
all
yeah.
friends of mine.
Well, I like it. That's awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on.
No problem.
I've
This
had a
was
good
fun.
time. Yeah.
This was a lot of time, a lot of fun. Thank you for the time. I also want to say I'm really excited for you guys to be here. Thank you for coming. It was really awesome. I'm really excited.
Can
Oh,
we
yeah.
can we get one more accent?
Yeah.
What's it? What about what do you got here? You gotta pull your list of accents up.
You can have
You have like a Hungarian one.
What the?
Duże dobre.
Yeah.
Yes, it's more Russian, but a lot of them is more like people talk in American from the other country with broken English.
Yeah.
Yes. So maybe Hungarian, yes. I believe Encenedekte is how you say I love you in Hungarian.
I didn't even know that was actually a language, to be honest with you. But
Hungarian.
fair enough.
Saul, this one I've stolen from the Jerky Boys, and I've always been very good at it. You heard me do this earlier. Sometimes I like to prank call Ferguson and curse them for delivering a toilet at 4:30 in the morning. You know, who does that? You know, so Saul, things just go wrong for him constantly, and people are awful to him and push him down the hill and make him eat worms. You know, things like that. Nothing's ever good for Saul.
Oh man.
Got the sad cowboy, which is actually kind of the same thing. This one I only usually do with my cousin. He'll call me and I'll know because he'll be like, "Hey man," I'm like, "Man."
Tell everybody thanks
really
for
missed
listening
you.
in the Sad Cowboy,
Okay.
and sign us off here.
Oh wait,
Thanks for listening to the Small Business Podcast.
I don't know if the sad cowboy is a way to send people off.
I think it's a good way.
All right.
It's very melodramatic.
We'll try it, and if it sucks, we'll go back.
Yo, I really want to thank you for coming on, tuning in. I don't even know what you're in, but as long as you're here with us, that's all that matters. Thank you. From the bottom of my little freckled heart, thank you. This was the Small Business Podcast. Sorry, everything broke up there. It's the Building Small Business Podcast. These were your hosts,
Shay and Matt.
and Matt. And God dang it, appreciate you, all you viewers and your little children that'll grow up to be big, strong people. Put love in their heart, not fear and not hate. There's too much of that already. We don't need it.
Hell yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Now I have to start again.